everyone. Welcome to the 7th session of Entrepreneurship Academy 2020. Tonight, we are happy to invite Dr. Sammy Fong to be our guest speaker. Dr. Fong joined Hong Kong U Business School as a principal lecturer in 2008. Dr. Fong has rich experience in practical finance management, and he served several positions for Big Four audit firms for more than 10 years. Tonight, Dr. Fong will talk about the means to measure and report the financial aspects of a business, such as how to understand various kinds of financial statements and the cash flow management. Without further ado, let me pass the time to Dr. Fong.
Hi, hello, thank you everyone. Thank you, Terrace, for your kind introduction. So what I'm going to share with you today, spend like 60 minutes around on, major financial statement that we may need to know, right, for our everyday life. And also, I will try to ask you a few questions before we finish our presentation. So hopefully you enjoy today's section. Okay, as Terrace introduced, I am working in Business School of Hong Kong U for more than 10 years. I teach mainly auditing subject and also corporate governance at undergraduate and postgraduate level. So in case that you feel interested about those topics, you can freely contact me. You can find my contact information very easily in Business School of Hong Kong U website. Okay, so do you see my slide here, Terrace? Okay, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right, you work well. All right, so let's start our today's discussion, and then we target to finish at 6:30 sharp, right? So I know that people are busy in Hong Kong, so let's enjoy, right? Evening time better, right? After 6:30. Today's topic is money matter. So my objective is just want to brief you, let you know what's the major statements that we may need to use to make decision financially about company performance. All right, so okay, let's start. Okay, objective financial reporting. Actually, the major objective of financial reporting is to help people to gather information to make decisions. Decisions such as to buy or sell or maintain the portfolio, the stock in your portfolio. And also we want to know the information about the company resources as well as performance during the year, right? So in accounting world, we roughly have different dimensions to focus, right? For example, today focus is so-called financial accounting. In Chinese, we call 财務會計, right? In Mandarin, it's 財務會計. So in accounting, actually, we have different focus. Financial accounting means what? In this area, mainly facilitate the people, for example, like shareholders, suppliers, customers, employees, to understand the information about the companies. So even you're an outsider of the company, in case that you want to know more about the company's information and situation, you can freely go into their company website to download the annual report. And later on, I'll show you that what's annual report. The listed company in Hong Kong and all over the world must be required to present this annual report to the outsiders, to the public. Okay, it's mandatorily required by regulatory bodies. So what's the use of this financial accounting information? The use mainly cover like exchange capital when we invest the money or we want to monitor and evaluate the company performance. That kind of information is very, very important and useful for us to use. Another focus of accounting we call managerial accounting. In China's 管理會計 or 管理學會計, 管理會計, right? So actually the user of the managerial accounting are mainly managers, internal parties of the companies. And what's the use of this managerial accounting information? It's mainly to do planning, controlling, and evaluating the company performance or department performance. And last but not the least, we call tax accounting, right? Tax accounting mainly, the name already self-explanatory is to let people know what's the tax situation of the companies. So you can see that, by the way, in accounting, even though we collectively call accounting information, but in fact, we have different kind of focus. So today, given that we'll have time constraint, only 1 hour, 60 minutes, So we pretty much focus on financial accounting, right? So hopefully you get a rough idea what we talk about. Okay, as I mentioned, financial accounting is to prepare, to use accounting information to provide the information in the format of financial statements. Financial statements for listed company or public companies, they must need to present it into their company website for people to download, right? So financial statement in Chinese we call 财务报表 财务报表. Actually, it's a standardized format of statement. You go all over the world, no matter what countries you go, financial statements should look very similar, no matter where you go. For example, when you go to Vietnam, go to Cambodia, whatever countries you go, you ask people that I want your company financial statements. The financial statements should look quite similarly. Look, right? You know why I highlight look? Because the format look very similar, but the measurement or the content may be a little bit different. So what is the use of financial accounting? As I mentioned, is to enable the user to make informed decisions. For example, based on the performance of the company, we should buy more stock or sell the stock, or don't buy and sell, neither nor, and maintain the present level of holding. So whatever decision, you can base on the financial statement to make. Okay, this diagram actually is very interesting in my opinion because.
Hi, Dr. Fong.
Hello.
I just wonder, your slide seem is not moving.
My slide not moving?
Yeah, we're still on the cover slide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, something going wrong? Wow. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So can you see that now?
Yeah.
Can you see the lights moving?
Yeah, it's working now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. No problem. Okay, great. It works. Okay, so go to this slide, please. Okay, actually, this slide talking about illustrate how the company function. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case that you never studied accounting before and you don't know what a company talking about, make sure you know this. For whatever companies, they must have three major activities. Financing. Financing in Chinese called 融资, right? 融资活动. Financing activities. Another one is called investing activities, 投资活动. And the last but not the least called operating, 经营的活动. So whatever companies, we must have these three activities. So let's discuss one by one. Financing means what? How do company raise capital? For example, in today's market, everybody talk about Ant Financial, right? So what they are doing, actually, they try to raise capital from the market. So how do companies raise capital from market? Two ways mainly. One is equity capital, by invite shareholder to invest in their companies. Second alternative is borrow money, debt capital, right? So for whatever companies, you can raise capital by these two ways, equity and debt. For investing, after, of course, a company get the money from shareholders and creditors, they get the money. So what should be the next step is they grab the money to invest in the so-called long-term assets. For example, buy machinery, hire employee, buy raw materials for production purpose. This is so-called investing activities. Grab the money from the shareholders and creditors to invest further in the companies, right? And after you invest in companies, and next step is operating. You start earning money. How do you earn money? You basically get the investment, get the share capital, and then utilize these resources to produce, to provide services, and so on and so forth. So look at this diagram, actually can explain whatever company's activities. First of all, we raise capital from equity capital and debt capital in upper part, right? And then we purchase material, property, plant, equipment, human access through investing activities. And then we produce goods and service, sell the products, collect the money from our customers, get the cash again, and do it again and again. Hopefully, the operating is never ending. We keep earning money until the end, right? So This is ideal case. You understand? So for all people, in case that you want to know what the company means that they must have financing, investing, and operating activities. So our financial statement are pretty much based on these three activities to design. Okay, in the world, as I mentioned, the financial statement should look quite similar in terms of formatting. So, for example, you grab the balance sheet or income statement from in Hong Kong or even in China, in Taiwan, in United States, whatever countries, the format look very similar. But what makes difference? For every single economies, I highlight economies, not necessarily country, because Hong Kong, even though Hong Kong is not a country, but Hong Kong actually have our own accounting standard. All right, okay. So something we call GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, means in that countries or economies, they got a specific rules for accounting practice. So for example, in Hong Kong, we call Hong Kong GAAP, right? Just HKGAP GAAP. So everybody knows what's that. Actually, it's Hong Kong FRS, Hong Kong Financial Reporting Standard. In China, interestingly, even though we are under one country to system, right? We are under one country, but Hong Kong and China, in terms of accounting standard, is quite different. Hong Kong is, I can say that, is independent entities of accounting standard. All right. So even tax law, we are kind of autonomous, right? So that's why I can say that GAAP. You go to whatever countries, their own country must have GAAP. So for example, you go to United States, they have US GAAP. You go to UK, they used to have UK GAAP, but of course UK now, the UK GAAP pretty much harmonized with European Union, EU, because political reason, right? So in all EU countries, they have one GAAP now, one accounting principle now. So you may say if countries are different, so the financial statement will be different. I would say that yes. In terms of content, the measurement methods, different countries' GAAP may have different focus, a little bit different, right? So, but anyway, even though we have GAAP, each managers in the company have discretion to select from different rules under the GAAP, allowable estimate under the GAAP, right? So try to give the manager a little bit flexibilities. So that's why different manager may using the GAAP differently. The result of financial statement may be a little bit different under different management, right? So eventually you can imagine that when one person prepare financial statement in one country, they must subject to the GAAP in that country, accounting standard in that countries. Simultaneously, also you can exercise your discretion to make some decisions about the financial statements. So these two components basically determine the content of financial statement for the company. But for your information, you have to know that, right? At least in Hong Kong, we do have a Hong Kong's accounting standard. So actually, Hong Kong accounting standard issued by Hong Kong ICPA, Hong Kong Institute of Certified Public Accountants, we call Hong Kong FRS, right? So in case that people talk about this, you know what's that. And also for your information, China and Hong Kong have two different accounting standards up until now. Okay, I'm not sure about future, but up until now, in terms of accounting standard and tax law, we are pretty much separated. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, primary financial statement. We talk about a lot about background of financial statement already. So today focus is what? We have three financial statements that you have to learn, but mainly two. Actually, focus for today is two. The first one is balance sheet. The name is called balance sheet. In Chinese, 我哋有個名叫做資產負債表，資產負債表 right? Balance sheet. Another name in English also called statement of financial positions. So in case that you see statement of financial positions means balance sheet. So this statement talking about what? Financial status of the company. Okay, second one called income statement. In Chinese, we call 利損益表，損益損益表。So this statement mainly talk about operating result of the company for the one period. for 1 month or 1 year or 1 period, right? So last but not the least, statement of cash flow. This statement will cover mainly the source and use of cash during the period of the company. So let's go through that to get a brief background for you. Okay, balance sheet 資產負債表. So balance sheet, the function is to indicate one company financial positions at a point of time. Okay, for example, I ask you, up until now, today is November the 4th, right? So at the November 4th, 5:30 p.m., how much cash owned by your company? How much inventory owned by your companies? So something like that, this is a point of time means. So indicate the company financial position at a point in time means what? At a certain point of time, how much assets you own, the company owns, and how much liabilities company owes. And last but not the least, the difference is so-called shareholders equity means what? If company owns some asset, owe some liabilities, after they offset each other's, the difference should be owned by the shareholders. All right, in Chinese, asset called 资产, 资产. Liabilities is 负债, right? 负债. And shareholder equity in Chinese called 股东权益. So very easy to understand. You use your company ownership owns what company owns minus what company owes. The difference is the net, right? The net value that owned by the shareholders. So very interesting to observe that is some companies especially in economic downturn, the asset even smaller than liabilities means what? They have more liabilities than asset. In Chinese we call 资不抵债, 资不抵债, right? 负资产, negative asset means that liabilities more than assets. Does it happen? Yeah, not really frequently happen, but can happen. I remember that in 2000, one very famous company called Hong Kong Telecom, right? PCCW, owned by Mr. Richard Lee. They used to have a higher liabilities than asset. So means what? Shareholders' equity is negative, right? Negative shareholder equity. Okay, so get more from the fundamental information for you. For income statement, 损益表, 损益表. The major function is to cover a period of time, usually 1 year, can be 1 month, can be 1 week, depending on your needs. Show the financial performance of company. So report how much sales the company earned less than how much expense the company used. The difference is called profit. So the formula is very strict. Revenue called 收入, 收入, minus expense, 支出, 费用, 费用. The difference is net profit. Net profit. So of course, everybody want to make profit. Make profit means what? Revenue minus expense. So some people always get confused, especially using Chinese language, right? We always ask people, hey, how much money you make during the year? How much profit you make? People always get confused. Profit means revenue minus expense. But sometimes we say, how much money you make? How can I answer you? Because what does money mean? Revenue can be money and profit can be money, right? So next time when you ask people questions, you should ask how much revenue you make last year, how much profit you make last year. The answer will be different. All right. Of course, if expenses more than revenue means what? You have loss. Of course, not too good, right? Because your what you earn is less than what you spend during the year. Of course, you're subject to loss. Okay, so this is two major statements I want to introduce to you. Okay, well, let's recap a little bit. Balance sheet is what? How much asset and how much liabilities you own or you owe in the company. All right, company owns and owns. And income statement is during the past period, how much profit you make. The focus a little bit different. Understand? For example, one company can own a lot of assets and have a lot of liabilities, but they may make huge profit. Or some company very small, they don't own any asset, but they can make huge amount of profit. All right. So depending on industry. All right, so later on I will let you know one very interesting company that you may feel interested to know, because it's quite debatable in recent days. Okay, next statements we may not focus today is called statement of cash flow. In Chinese we call 现金流转变，现金流转表. So this statement actually tell what? How much cash a company receive and how do we use the cash and get the cash. Of course, cash is very important for company survival. So as I mentioned, operating, we have three major activities in one company: operating, investing, and financing, right? So you can get a cash, you can earn cash from operating activities. Also, you can spend cash. For example, you sell product, you can earn cash. But when you buy raw material, you have to pay cash. So this is operating activities. Investing means what? You can sell your asset, so you get cash, but simultaneously you can buy more assets, buy more machinery. It could be get cash. Last but not the least, financing, right? You can raise capital, you can get more cash, or you can return back, you can settle the outstanding loans to the bank, is pay cash. So actually what we want to know is how do our cash inflow, outflow, what is the situation of the flowing for the company. Of course, we pay attention to it because no cash, the company cannot sustain. But cash cannot be everything, because the company will make profit and company own asset and company will get cash. So actually, these three financial statements can provide us holistic pictures of how the company functions and perform. Okay, let's go to this equation. Hopefully you enjoyed this journey more. Asset, liabilities, and owner's equity, they have relationship. Always like that. Assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. So why I say that, make it easier for you, make it more layman, is like, imagine that the company born to have nothing. Okay, company for example, we just have a startup company. We cover new companies. Actually, company have nothing in the company, right? And what's the first batch of money to invest in the company? Come from shareholders. We are the owner of the company, so we inject some money into the company. So we call share capital, owner's equity. So the company, born to have nothing, so we have to give them share capital and then let them run to earn money, to earn revenue. Eventually, their asset increase and owner's equity increase, right? So make it easier for you to view the company. You can see that asset always equal liabilities plus owner's equity. Asset is something that owned by the companies. Liabilities is something that company own, and the difference is owner's equity. So if you take this angle, liabilities and owner's equity, we can treat it as a source of money, source of funding. Either borrow from outsiders for the company or share capital injection by shareholders. Two ways to get the resource for companies. And after the company get the resource, they will buy assets, right? So now you know that asset actually come with cost. The asset will not come without any reason, right? We want to buy more asset, you have to pay. So when you pay, liabilities increase and asset increase. So every time this equation should be held, the relationship should be held always, no exception, right? So by the way, my question for you, if you want to have a startup companies, do you want to have access? Of course, everybody wants access, but think about it. Where do your access come from? Either from your pocket, you invest, or from borrowing initially. All right. Later on, you can earn, but take times. So owning asset may not be a good thing as you imagine. Okay, so I think that's it for my very brief introduction about financial statement. What I want you to know, at least, you have to know these two statements first, right? One is income statement. Income statement, just like what? Just like if you studied university before, our yearly transcript.成績單, right? In year 1 of university, I got 3.9 GPA. So 3.9 is my year one performance, year one income statement. Year two, I got 3.6 GPA. Year two, 3.6 is my year two income statement. So your performance can be different from year to year, right? 1 year good, it doesn't mean that next year you do good. 1 year bad, similar idea, you can keep improving, get surprisingly good result next year. So income statement is like one period, one period. Okay, balance sheet, another major statement is what? Not really your income statement, not year by year. It's cumulative. Balance sheet just like your resume. Starting from your day of the birth, you have your resume already, right? You did a lot of things up until now. So this is balance sheet. You tell people how much I did so far up to this moment. So how much cash I had until this moment, how much inventory I have this moment. So balance sheet is cumulative from day one of the company all the way to now, all right? So it is cumulative, unlike income statement. Income statement is only talking about one period, just like our transcript for study, right? In year one, year two, year three separately. Okay, so now I think it's pretty much enough for you to get a background. Let's reserve some time for our interesting case study. This case study actually is called Evergrande. In Chinese, this company called Hangda Dicai. All right, so I think I sent you the annual report already. So let's work it together. And also after working out these few questions to read the annual report, corresponding chapters, we can answer those following questions. Hopefully, first, is the company financially healthy? 財務健康嗎？財務健康嗎？ Second question is, do they perform well? Do they make profit? Third, do they enough cash? Do they have enough cash? Last but not the least, very important decision making is what? Should we buy this company stock? Why or why not? Evergrande actually is a very controversial company recently. You know that. If you watch TVB, they keep having very frequent advertisement about their new model car, right? Car for new models. Every day they keep talking about this. So actually, this company is very controversial and can be very tradable, maybe. And later on, I share my insight with you. But first of all, I would like you to go to, okay, any question by chat room? Okay, end report. So I suggest you can go to annual report of this company. I think I gave it to you already. Annual report. Yes. Where's that? I opened it already. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me share that. Okay, where's my Evergrande? Okay, great. I got it. Yeah, annual report. Okay, of course, this is an annual report. Can you see the screen, people? Okay. So this is Evergrande annual report. In case you have copy on your screen, please do it together. You don't need to go through all, right? It's 100+ page. No point to do it now. You can do it this evening time, right? And you can learn more. But I would like to give you a very brief introduction. Okay, first, if you have soft copy of this annual report, okay, first of all, annual report is what? As I mentioned, Evergrande is a listed company in Hong Kong. The stock code is free, right? Very easy to memorize. Why I choose this company? Because they're very unique and have a very interesting characteristics. Hopefully you can highlight that later. All right, of course, I don't mean to cover all of that today, given that we only have 20 minutes more. But what I want to share with you is, okay, of course, they do what? Very briefly for your information, they are doing property development, 起樓啊，街坊, right? Property development. Interestingly, the founder of this company called Mr. Xu, he likes sports. Actually, he have a very good football club in China. Hangda Taobao, Hangda used to call Hangda. The very superior football club, I think, in China. And in case that, based in Guangzhou, in case that you feel interested, you can watch the football game in Guangzhou. And I always went there to watch the game. And also, the light sport, he spent a lot of money on that. Also, recently, he want to develop a car market very aggressively. All right, of course, this is background information. In case you feel interested, you can do more research, especially you like to trade stock about this for these companies. Yeah, you can consider, but very risky, I can tell you that. All right, look at the table of content. You can go to page 67. Okay, 74 should be. Yeah. No, we don't talk about all the report, right? No time for today. But anyway, what you for your information. Okay, let's start from that. In case you have a soft copy of this annual report, please go to page 74. Okay, 74, and also 75, also and 76. Okay, I suggest that you might spend like around 5 minutes, right? Quickly skim through this free statement from 74 page to 76. Start from balance sheet, consolidate the balance sheet, and also second page of balance sheet, and also one more is statement of income, comprehensive income, just like income statement, right? So 74 to 76 and 77. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's spend 5 to 10 minutes to go through that, and then we'll quickly conclude and see anything interesting thing we can extract from these two financial statements. Okay, let's do it together. In the annual report, starting from 74, page 74 to 77, balance sheet and income statement. Okay, yeah, right, very good, thank you, 74 to 77. And also, in case you have questions for me, feel free to ask me, right? We have some Q&A time later. Okay, 74 to 77, enjoy it. You don't need to really read in very details. What you get, just like with people CV. Did you recruit people? You have a people CV. You just highlight, you know, anything interesting about this company or these individuals, right? Do you have any experience to share in handling the financial institution of a startup? Okay, Lawrence. Oh, okay, report. Any insight or interesting problems? Okay, Lawrence, you have question about to share in handling finance situation of startup means how to handling the finance function, right? What you mean is how to do the good bookkeeping. That's what you mean?
Or when, because like for this example is a listed company we're studying, and but I think the audience might want to know, like, when I running my own startups,
Okay.
and I have to deal with my own finance of the company as well. Yeah, bookkeeping, and yeah, usually what the founder has to bear in mind when they start with.
Okay, very good question, Lawrence. Okay, let me share a little bit first, and then we probably talk more later after this section, or even after time, you know, next time. But anyway, you can email me about it. But very briefly, for startup company, I think I know some so-called you know, some, you know, entrepreneur for the startup companies. They feel hectic about this problem because accounting cannot make profit, right, for the company, but can give you trouble in most of the time, right? In case that you don't handle well. So I strongly recommend that you do first. You may not know accounting very well, don't worry, but for whatever transactions, no matter sell or buy something, purchase, whatever, you use the folder, make it simple, to keep all the receipt and invoice accordingly. That's something that you must have to do. You understand what I'm saying? No, first of all, have a bank account first. Please do not use individual bank account. Some startup company, the founder like to use their own personal bank account for operation. Don't do it. First of all, fundamentally separate shareholder, owner, and company. Help the company in case you incorporate already. You know what's incorporate mean? You have really go through the legal procedures to incorporate the companies, to start the to have a bank account for the company. All right, I understand now the bank do not like SME. And my experience telling me that. So don't worry. Push them to open a bank account for the SME for your companies. Have a bank account. Keep all checkbooks in an organized manner. When you write checks, even though sometimes you careless mistake, you just grab it. Please don't dump it. Keep the copy in case you cancel the check, whatever, right? You understand? Keep all the documentation in organized manner. You may not know how to handle. Don't worry. Keep documentation first. Invoice. All right? And also, while you buy things, you must have receipt, invoice, evidence. Keep all the things in an organized manner in a folder. And up at the end of year, you want to prepare financial statement. You either can do it by yourself or you hire professional part-time to do it, right? But don't waste the time on that, because when you start a company, I believe that the transaction volume may not be very high. Unless you have very high volume, right? You already established, you consider to hire part-time or full-time accountant or account clerk to handle. But for startup companies, 1 year may have 5, 10 transactions, whatever. Keep all the documents in the folder first. And I know that in the market, some small size audit firm, they can help you just pay low charge, maybe a few $1,000. They can handle that too for few transactions and including audit. You understand? You need to have audit, right? Unavoidably, even though no matter how small the company is. So that few $1,000 cannot be saved, right? In some sense. You understand what I'm talking about? Of course, when your company get larger, or scale up, another story. You may consider hire people to help. It may not be at this stage. I don't know how big your company is, right? But just general comment on that. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Fong.
Yeah, you can send me email or talk to me physically later, face to face. I can refer some appropriate professional for you. Or I can teach you how to handle that. Simple bookkeeping. No, not difficult, right? Okay, so thank you. Any more questions? Yeah, I know that Hyundai is a listed company, maybe too big, right? But anyway, you have to familiarize yourself with financial statement. Make it become your part of your life. All right. So do you get any insight about financial statement? Okay, so I can tell you that don't be scared by financial statement. Don't think too professional. You prepare financial statement may be professional, right? But you read financial statement is your life. Everybody in modern society cannot avoid, right? Okay, let's go to the company today. Focus Evergrande balance sheet 资产负债表. Look at Evergrande. Wow, how big is it? Asset, we know that 资产, right? 资产. What kind of asset they own a lot? Investment properties, right? Investment property means 投资嘅物業，投資物業. How much? Be careful, gentlemen. In $1 million, right, ladies and gentlemen, in million. So in 2000, at the end of 2009, they own around $162 billion. In Chinese, 1620億 investment property, right? 1000多億. What is the total asset? Okay, by the way, you can see that in the balance sheet, there are two assets. One is non-current asset. Non-current asset means those assets expect to hold long term, more than 1 year. And current asset is hold less than 1 year. We call current asset. Understand? So we can see that, wow, current asset, 流动资产, 流动资产. Property under development, they hold about 1198 billion. 1萬幾億啊, 1萬多個億. So, for example, when you want to know the company background, you look at the financial statement, you know how big they are. You never know how big they are, right? For example, people ask you, how big the Hyundai, right? Evergrande, we have no idea before you read the financial statement. Wow, total asset, 总资产 2206 billion. So how many digits? Don't forget, they are in $1 million already. So using your finger, right? How many digits? 1, 2, 3, wow, I don't know how many. You can use your finger to count. But what I can tell you that is million, 6 digits. Billion, 9 digits. This is trillion, 12 digits. They got 13 digits. 13個位 13個位 means what? They got $2.2 trillion 2.2萬億總資產 2.2萬億的總資產 Alright, big companies, of course, damn big. Alright, I don't think in Hong Kong there are so many companies like that. Alright, is it healthy? Wow, they got so much access. You think they're healthy, right? They were wealthy, at least wealthy. I'm not sure whether they're healthy, but at least wealthy. But you have to look at how much money they owe, liabilities. Go to the next page. Go to the next page. Also, they have non-current liabilities, means those liabilities they have to pay more than 1 year later. Long-term liabilities, right? And also they have current liabilities. Means what? They need to settle these liabilities within 1 year, within 12 months. Right? Anyone can tell me that total liabilities how much? 1.8 trillion. 1.8萬億. All right? 1.8萬億. So answer the question, my first question first. Are they healthy or wealthy? In my opinion, they are quite wealthy because they own so much asset, right? $2.2 billion. Are they healthy? They own 2.2 billion. You can see that, right? $2.2606 billion, this amount in 2009. But interestingly, they owe 1.8 trillion. Okay, easy calculation. Using your calculator if you have. Using total liabilities divided by total asset. 1.1848040 divided by 2206577 actually is almost 1 to 1. 1 to 1 means what? They have $1 asset, they almost have $1 liabilities. Imagine as an individual, we are individual, right? You have 5 million asset. Wow, what a happy, right? You got $5 million asset, but you got 4.8 million liabilities. Means what? Actually, you don't own that much. You understand what I'm talking about? So we know that why Evergrande is like that. They got huge asset. They own a lot of asset, properties for sale and whatever. But unfortunately, they have huge liabilities. How huge? If you look at the detail, their borrowing mainly is, okay, borrowing is 427 billion, 400幾億 ，4,000多個億 yuan 人民幣。Long term, long term is 427, and current is 372, and trade payable is $717 billion. Actually, they owe people a lot of money. Understand? Do you like to invest in a company with huge liabilities? I don't give you an answer. You make decision by yourself, right? Some people like it, high risk, high return. Okay, look at seems like, in my opinion, their leverage, their liability ratio is a little bit too high. $1 asset, almost 80 cents, 85 cents liabilities. A little bit too high. You know why I say too high? Now is economic downturn, right? If economic downturn keep going down, they don't make profit, their company is very likely to have problems. Okay, if you pay attention to financial news recently, the rumors say that the bank in China want to record the call loan from Evergrande. If they call loan from Evergrande, you see what happened. Okay. Anyway, this is the balance sheet, right? Healthy. Are they making profit? let's go to income statement or statement of comprehensive income. Okay, let's spend time to go over that. Revenue, 收入. Revenue is how much in 2019? 477,561 million. In English means 477 billion. Alternatively, you can say 0.477 trillion. 4,000 幾億, right? Turnover. Wow. Can you imagine that one company in Hong Kong get $477 billion revenue? A gross profit, 132 billion, 1,000 幾億, not too bad. And how much profit they make? Look at this. Profit for the year is 33 billion. 33 billion means 300幾億, 300多個億人民幣, right? Okay. Do you think that they make profit? They make profit. It's a fact. They have 477 billion turnover, but they have 33 billion profit. 4,000多個億的收入, 300多個億的利潤, right? Compare last year. Last year is the 66 billion profit. Another important information for you is, next page. For one share, they share basic earning profit is $1.3 means what? 一股的利润大約是 1.3 元，大約一股利潤大概分到 1.3 嘅 profit， 1.35 蚊嘅 profit 人民幣 right? Okay, is it good? Well, I would say that okay lah, right? And they're positive, right? At least they make profit. But if you're smart enough, think about it. How's the economic situation in China and Hong Kong now, right? A little bit miserable, downturn a little bit, not really a little bit, downturn a lot. So can Evergrande keep selling properties in upcoming years to maintain this profit? So compare 2019 to 2018, the profit dropped from $66 billion to $33 billion. They dropped by almost 50%. If you use calculator, you can calculate very easily. Like compared to 2018, 2019 dropped by 50%. All right, for whatever reason, for the economic and political reason. So what I strongly say that, this company can make profit still, but they get high liability ratio, and also profit is one share, they can have $1 something about the profit. Okay, Amy, all right. I will get back to you after discussing this statement first, right? No, don't worry, right? We have open question for open Q&A later. All right, so you can see that basically $1, they have $1.3 basic earning per share. So it means 一股可以有 1.3 嘅利潤, right? Is it good? Is it good to buy the stock? Someone may feel interested. Should I buy the Evergrande stock? Okay, I show you some information. If you want to buy stock, you have to look at how much the stock price is, right? Okay, go to one very interesting website, this one. Okay, let's go to there. Okay. Let's go to one website called aastock.com, right? Okay, actually I go to this company stock price already. So this stock price is 3333. All right, so you can see that how much price today. Oh, they sell $15 per 86 Hong Kong dollar. 15.86 Hong Kong dollar for today, stock price. And based on the end report, they have what? They provide you the information that every stock, every share, they can share 1.315 yuan profit. So if you use easy calculation, right? Price is 15.86 divided by 1.3 something. So what you can get is you can look at this ratio called PE ratio. In Chinese, we call 市盈率. So actually the calculation is very simple. Using the stock price divided by earning per share is around 10 times. 大概10倍市盈率, 10倍市盈率. Is it good to buy? All right, I have no answer for you. You make the decision for yourself. But in my opinion, this stock is a little bit risky, given that they have high liability ratios. The profit dropped a little bit from last year, 2018 to 2019. PE ratio okay, 10 times, not very expensive. But given that the economic situation not good in Hong Kong and China, so I'm a little bit hesitant, right? Okay, I think enough, because given the time constraint, I don't want to go further and a little bit rush for you guys. In case you have questions about this, you can email me later. I will show you how do you contact me. And as I mentioned, you can go to Hong Kong U Business School website to locate my contact information. My name is Sammy Fung. You can get my contact information and also office address. All right, let me try to address some people's questions first before we finish this section. Okay. Amy, right, hi, Dr. Fong. Okay, I'll try to reply to Amy's question. So Amy just mentioned that, hi, Dr. Fong, for early startup companies, may not be as many items for the financial statement as everyone. Yes, right, you're right. At what stage time they should start doing the statement? Sure. Okay, Amy, are you there?
Yep.
Hi, hello, Amy. I think, yes, definitely correct. You don't need to follow other people's financial statements. You base on your own company situation to develop. Some company very simple. They only have cash, bank account, maybe sales, cost of goods sold, profit, and that's it. Salary, rental. So case by case, we don't need to follow people's financial statement as it's a listed company, right? So my suggestion for you is similar idea. At which stage time you should start doing the statement. Okay, for startup company, listen carefully here. In Hong Kong, the first accounting period, no need to limit to 12 months. Only for first year. For example, you income your company in maybe November 4th, right? November 4th. So the year end for the first year end of your financial statement should be 2021 year end. You understand? So just like today is November 4th, we establish a new companies. We don't need to close the book at December 31st. But no point of doing it. Only 1 month, 2 months. So the tax department in Hong Kong, IRD, Inland Revenue Department, allow you to have more than 12 months accounting period for first year operation. Just like what? You want to, you know year end day? Every company should have year end day. 年尾嗰日 year end day not necessarily December 31st. It can be whenever you like in Hong Kong, not China. China must be December 31st. In Hong Kong, whenever you like. For example, you can set your year end day at March 31st, June 30, September 30, whatever, whenever you like. So the first ending day is, for example, 2021, December 31st. So you establish your company in 2020, November 4th. It can be last more than 12 months. So this is my answer for you. After first year, second year, you need to have 1 year period for each subsequent period. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yep.
All right, so I think that's it for my sharing for Evergrande, as well as very brief introduction of financial statement, income statement, and balance sheet. In the audience, do you have any question for me?
I guess Dr. Fong has answered all the questions, so maybe I can do a quick wrap-up. Yeah.
All right, sure.
Okay. So for next week, we will hold the EA at 12:30 during the lunch hour, and we will talk about what it takes for startup to pitch the idea to investors from a VC perspective. And also, if you're interested in getting the Cyberport Creative Microfunds, which has around 100K Hong Kong dollars fund, you can consider to join the Hong Kong Young Entrepreneurs Program organized by the Cyberport. So the deadline will be next Wednesday, so don't miss it.
Yeah,
Okay.
for next week it's afternoon, Rebecca, after, because the speaker is from the States, so there are time difference, and so you can listen to her sharing while you are having lunch. So for next week it's in the afternoon, 12:30.
Yeah, we remember the time is different and don't miss it. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Fong. So this is the end of today's sharing. And
thank you.
And thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.